riot in the county jail. Tell us about it.
Whew, I was getting fucking tossed up. And it was in, I don't know if you guys remember, but the 3301. They ended up changing to the mini game module, but 3301 was like when I got my first, like, real, like, you know, because in juvenile hall, motherfucker always slanging them, always fighting because for reputation. But in the county jail, I think it started over some bullshit, but I literally was getting slammed around. Like, dude was literally just grabbing me and slamming me all around it. Like, the wife was talking to me, like, literally slamming me around the fucking walls in that little ass day room. And that's when and I was like trying to knock his block off. But you know how you see yourself as big, but in all that's why you really not. I was like maybe like 100 and something pounds. And dude was literally just manhandling me. He could have probably knocked me the fuck out, but he didn't. He was just like literally just slamming me around the thing. If it wasn't for my homies getting in there and pulling me back, I probably would have got stumped down everything.
Was he an older guy?
Yeah, it's an OG.
My thing I was trying to get at, when you was in a full-fledged chaotic riot, did the homies mistake you for being on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, nigga, anytime anything pops off like that, the first thing I do is look at hands. I look at hands because sometimes fools run through with their knees and you fuck around and get poked. The last riot I was in, I got socked like 5 times, I think.
By your own?
It's crazy. Twice by the homies, twice by some white dudes. And one was gonna try to hit me, but he was a bicep, and I caught him on it. He caught it, but yeah, that shit happens when it gets chaotic. I gotta be moving around because that's a dangerous part. Because you can get got. Not to mention the people that you might not like that don't like you. You know what I mean? Some people take that as opportunity.
I don't know if I'm in your position. I'm gonna huddle up with the Southsider, like, hey, look at me right here. So when it cracks, you know.
It's kind of hard because it's like, if you front line it, like I never want to be somebody and be like, oh yeah, that fool was hiding behind. Like, nah, I'm gonna run up and get mine. So in the end, people know that I handle my business, like regardless. Like dudes that try to be like, oh yeah, you know, you ran with them because you couldn't handle being a Crip or a Blood. I'm like, what the fuck? Do you know the difference between running with your own and then running with a whole entire different race? Like, if you can weather that, you can weather anything. Because you facing opposition from all sides. You got motherfuckers from your own shit that don't like you. You got dudes from other races that don't like you, confused on what you do. Like, yeah. So
let me ask you this. Is this a myth coming from an outsider? Because I hear this a lot, that the Surenos would use a black Sureno as a torpedo. Like you guys are expendable.
Myth.
Have you been asked to go on a crazy situation because you're black?
No.
Okay.
I handle my business because that's just what, you know, that's what's expected of everybody. I just dispel that myth without getting into anything.
Okay.
They don't do that. I remember a dude from Santana Block, he asked me the same thing, but he was trying to get something started, but it didn't work out for him. But yeah, they don't. It's not like that. It's never like that. Like it don't matter if you white. It don't matter because we got homies that's Koreans and different type of nationalities. It just you didn't do what you do when you have to do it. That's just plain and simple.
Have you had a shoe program before?
I've got shoe programs, but never made it to the shoe programs. I end up doing all my time just in a regular hole.
Out here on the west side, back in the 80s, there's a 100% black gang, 90% called posers, but they're Surenos.
Yeah, one of the homie from Posers, he's still out there too. He's still out there.
So you ran into posers up in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that a trip to know that there was a 100% black gang that pushed Southside?
Yeah. And one of them, I think he's like a bouncer, but he's big as hell too. When I was down, I ran into a gang of black homies. Like, some are mixed, some half Puerto Rican, some are just straight Puerto Rican, and not like the ones that just say they Puerto Rican, but the actual Puerto Ricans. And then I ran into I got a homie right now in Africa with an issue, but because there ain't nobody right there. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like you got to do what you got to do.
Do you guys find yourselves, the black Southsiders, bonding a little bit more closer, or everything is?
Let me tell you something about that. when I was busted, I only fucked with certain ones. Nobody. It's one of those things that nobody trusts anybody because they're waiting for the next one to drop the shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's constantly like you want to see if this fool's gonna. There's fools that were supposed to stay solid that didn't stay solid. It's just it happens. But yeah, for the most part, I've been on yards where we'll have like minimum like a couple of words with each other. But I had homies from Playboys, I had homies from Florence that we used to click like real good. But there's some that we don't function with each other well at all. Like,
how did the COs take to you guys?
Whew. It depends. The county jail, if it was Hispanic CO, I was cool with them. The judge, they were cool with me. Like, they would trip out on me, but they were cool. Like, cool. But when I run into Black cops in even jailers, they don't like me for shit. Only like a couple of them, but the rest is like, you from where? And like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, it's how I grew up, and they just like shut it down and be like, man, take your ass down. Like, literally something had happened in the county jail. They literally be like, try to send me down the road where they know I ain't supposed to be. Like, just, hey, take your ass down there. Like, so yeah, I think that they were opposition off the bat, but it's crazy. Like, I won't lie, I've been in situations to where they'll send me somewhere and then I'll get there and no people. Like no people. They catch it and be like, hey, Wicked, you ain't supposed to be here. Like, just go ahead and I'll just walk away and say, if it ain't on site, it's like, what can I? It's fool. I ain't too proud to walk away from some shit. You know what I mean? It's just.
No, the reason why I asked that, I stumbled across a YouTube channel called Perplex.
Well, yeah,
and one of the subject matters, dude was saying how the COs in the CDC stacked the deck against Black inmates. You know what I'm saying, in favor of other groups because Blacks were revolutionary, causing ruckus towards the institution. So I was wondering if that spilled over to you, or you were kind of blanketed by running with the Southsiders.
You know what? I think to the COs like in the county and in the pen, I think they kind of considered me like a circus freak. They just wanted to see what was gonna happen next. Like always, like there's times I'll hit the yard. And I'll be mobbing the track with just like one homie, and they'll be the whole time they'll be on me trying to figure out. Like I got a point in prison just for like paraphernalia, whatever that they consider gang related, and a lot of people don't have that. But yeah, I think they kind of see me as a circus freak, just like they didn't expect it. I remember in Ironwood I had a mohawk, and the cops are like, hold on, there, certain standards they expect you to adhere to because supposedly they hear this. And when they would see me, it's kind of like, damn, I mean, I stood out. I was dark as hell, so.
So, the white boys, how'd the white boys take to you up in there, knowing that you were officially their ally?
I'll say, like, there's probably like a couple of them I fucked with, but a lot of them I didn't. Like, we just keep our distance. I mean, when I was busted, we got into it with them too. And a long time ago, somebody had threw a bottle, one of them at my mom. So whenever it cracked, I get my money, But yeah, we keep our distance. Now, I mean, at least the real ones. There's some that that ain't on that page. They're just white dudes, and then there's some that's on that page, and the ones we just kind of like, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like I tell people, we still see things the way we see. Like this, I think I had a conversation with one fool, and he was like, yeah, something about, I would have never fucked with you. I told him, that's cool, because I didn't go out and want to fuck with you either. You know what I mean? Like, don't never get that twisted. Like, it's a reason, but yeah, we don't, yeah.
So you said you got family that's Crips and Bloods out there in the valley,
and even in LA, Fresno. Places.
So we have the annual family functions together, and the families come together.
I'm just a black essay. That's how they say it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I had uncles we don't get along. They're from the old school, and they see things like they're more on the Black Power page. So it's like with me, it's like we'll see each other and we just don't say nothing to each other. It's just because of anything outside of respect is gonna get cracking. Especially like, I mean, I've caught Uncle slipping and be wanting to do something to him, but it's it's blood, so it's like.
So they let the gang politics sink into the family structure?
Oh, I got family that's black or nothing. They don't with nothing outside of black at all, and anything deviating from that is like.
Shit, where did they grow up at?
In Bukoima.
Yeah.
Before OVG became OVGC, I got a lot of family from there, and they're just on their Black Power page. They're just on that page. Some are Muslims, and they're just on that page.
Growing up in the valley, the racial shit was kind of liberal, bro. It wasn't over the top like a like a Azusa or down there.
Oh yeah, that's the other side.
Torrance or down there in the Harbor City. The valley was pretty much liberal on that.
Yeah. And
they took that stance out there in the valley?
A few of them. I got family members that that's just how they are. But most of my family members, like no lie, have been to the penitentiary multiple. Some have did life, got out. I just had one that he had did like 36 years to life and got out. So their mind state is still like, oh, these fools are trying to kill us in there, and you run with them. Like, oh, fuck you. So it's like, well, fuck you too. Like, if we ain't getting active, like, just stay out my zone, And so, that's just the way it is.
Let me ask you something that popped in my head since I dropped Azusa and Avenues and these barrios that are thick into the racial gang wars on the streets. Do you bump into these same cats in there?
And I got, you know what? I got a gang of homies from Avenues. I got a gang of homies from neighborhoods that don't have no blacks in their neighborhood, known for supposedly being racial. Like, I got a gang of homies from these hoods. It's a trip. Like, when I was in High Desert, we had a homie from 18, Puerto Rican dude. And the dude that I had was my boy from Little Valley. Everybody thought he was just racist as hell, but he wasn't. It's just, he used to get into it with the Black Peace Stones, like, a lot. So it just, like, kind of carried on. Every time he would see them, he would rush them. Like, and he's a little skinny fool, but from that, everybody kind of caught that wave. But he got family from Raymond, which is crazy. But he got family from Raymond, cousins that are with dudes from Raymond. But the homie from 18 used to be like, how the fuck you deal with this dude? You know what I'm saying? And this dude is racist as hell. But me and the homie was like this. Like, but it's just, dude was solid with me. Like have my back. Like no wavering at all.
Let me ask you something. As a whole, in the prison systems, do you look at it more as a gang separation or racial separation?
I tell you like this. With me, I've never seen it as a race thing. You got certain hoods that don't get along with certain hoods, so that's after a while it becomes like that. But it's a gang thing to me, especially being in Los Angeles. Everything is just about gang. Like me fighting a Crip or a Blood don't have nothing to do with race, and it don't have nothing to do with his hood, because we don't have beef with no Crips or Blood. It's just like, if you gonna rush me, I'm gonna get off. If I know something's gonna crack and you're right there, we're gonna get off. It's just that's just how it is. I would be a bitch to let you sock me out, and I just absorb it and be like, oh, I don't want no problems. Like, nah, it's never racist with me. It's always been hoods. Like, okay, we it's gonna crack, I'm gonna get off. Like, I'm not gonna sit there.
So in prison, when you see like the Southsiders on this side, the blacks on this side, the whites on this side, and it's the animosity, you don't look at it as a racial animosity. You look at it as basically an ego type thing. Who has
it's
the
a
biggest
pissing
balls?
contest. Because I've seen shit crack off just off the simple fact that dudes don't know how to talk. Like Ironwood, dudes don't know how to talk, so shit gotta, you can't get at some dudes. You can't get at dudes expecting just because you may be slightly deeper than them in the instance that they're gonna be bitches. I've seen it a gang of times turn out bad for cats. But if you don't know how to talk, a lot of things can be alleviated just by having a basic conversation. But some cats don't know how to have conversation, so everything is disrespect. And when you disrespect somebody in prison, the shit gets bad. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's
what you're saying. If everybody had manners, everybody would get along.
I mean, if motherfuckers know how to talk, like if they know how to talk, like if I talk to you instead of talking at you, I'll get more across. You know what I mean? Than for me to just get out there and be like, hey, you need to fucking do this. Don't go here. Don't go here. Motherfuckers we don't even understand that with each other if it's too much of that. Hey, you need to do this. You need to fucking do that. Like after a while, that shit don't work. People get hot. You know what I mean? It's like especially when summertime.
Right. Real shit.